Collective Voice is UCSD's progressive newspaper that promotes social unity, justice, and awareness across the many communities that exist on the UCSD campus. The Collective Voice helps create a sense of community for students who may otherwise feel unwelcome at UCSD's challenging campus climate, thereby contributing to the existing retention efforts.
SPACES stands for the Student Promoted Access Center for Education and Service. Our center is completely student-run, and our interns help promote access and retention for underrepresented students. So access being where we help provide resources for K through 14 students to help achieve higher education, and once they're there, that's where the retention portion comes in, where we provide resources for students to be able to stay in higher education and reach even higher education.
The Collective Voice, in partnership with SPACES, allows for the creation of an empowering dynamic where UCSD students collaborate to achieve greater educational equity.
Sometimes you can't report what the community is doing, what our works are being accomplished or achieved, unless we write it.
At the Collective Voice, we use a 10-point platform as a guideline for contributors.
I think with a traditional newspaper, you have like a staff that writes specific material or what's newsworthy, and I think with the transformation of the paper, it's really been a tool for students, community members, people outside of UCSD to have a voice, as corny as it sounds.
It gives me freedom. It really gives me this level of freedom that, I can put myself there, I can write, I could share my story, I could be myself. I don't have to conform to this very strict kind of like editorial kind of framework where I can just be like, you know what, I got a story to tell, I got a poem to say, I have a diary entry I want to share, I have a heart that feels.
It's been the only safe space to express oneself or to really document how it feels to be a student of color on campus, actually.
What finding the Collective Voice taught me is that you shouldn't underestimate the effect that your stories can have on other people, and how we kind of share these oppressions and very interesting and kind of ways that you might not necessarily suspect.
Why the paper sort of transitioned into having a set theme was to sort of help be a tool to mobilize the community, whether it was specific to an event or a particular issue, or just a thought, or an idea. So it could be mobilizing people to care about public education or be critical about what's happening in institutions of higher education, or it could mobilize people to think about what healing looks like in their communities.
I think I write in it because it is something that has allowed me to dig deep into places that the university as a whole doesn't give me the tools for. It doesn't allow me to center in and hone in on myself. It's such a fast pace on the quarter system. It's such a fast pace with midterm after midterm after midterm. There's no chance to even reflect on how am I feeling right now, how am I doing. I become robotic. I become less human every single midterm that I've taken. There's something that I can truly go back to, that is consistent, that is real, that isn't something that is concretized and that is fake. In my mind, that isn't just controlled. It's the collective voice. And really submitting pieces to the collective voice about, when I'm feeling this place is suffocating, I'm feeling my Spanish and my Spanglish is being, targeted and marginalized. I'm feeling that these different things that are crucial to us as communities, not only of color, but working class communities, immigrant communities, local, quote unquote lower end communities, we just push it aside and use as firewood so that people can benefit from our heat. But at the end of the day, bringing that to the forefront and say, I'm not just some disposable thing. You can just look at, judge, and put in a little checkbox. I think the collective voice, really what it does, it's exactly what it does. It collects voices that are silenced and makes them something that cannot be.